Hello everybody, I am finally back with a progression video, and today I'd like to invite you to take an 8.5-minute stroll across 16 different variations of fallouts on the gymnastic rings. So I'm going to start with basic fallouts as you see here and end up with all those crazy hybrid dumbbell fallouts that you saw in the little highlight video that started. So to note about the technique is, notice my shoulders stay next to my ears throughout the duration of the movement, and all the motion comes from my hips. So I'm driving my hips forward, I'm squeezing my glutes so that I never unlock my lower spine, and I maintain the hollow body position throughout my thoracic spine for the duration of the entire movement. So again, here I fall down by driving my hips forward, squeezing my glutes, never unlocking my lower back, and maintaining that very pronounced thoracic arch in my upper back. And then I'm going to pull the rings backwards under my hips and shift up onto my ballet toes and lean forward into a planche lean. Now here I'm just going to do the exact same movement, but I'm going to add the archer push-up on. If you don't have rings, you really should get them. You could do this on furniture sliders. I don't know, archer push-ups on the rings are one of my favorite things in the world. And just adding in the ab fallout, the planche lean, the archer push-ups, such a good full body workout. Oh, I can't recommend it more. Now, if you see, notice how much I am protracting my scapula and really like flexing my mid chest at the top of this movement. So it's really essential that you screw the ring outwards, turn your palms outward as you're going up through the archer press, and then really hollow that spine out at the top and get maximum contraction throughout your abs and work that hollow body position. So now I'm adding in a chest fly. This is very difficult, and it's essential that you don't wing your scapula. So really, again, maintain hollow body position and keep those elbows locked. Don't cheat this position. If it's too difficult for you, just walk forward so that you're not as flat to the ground. So the more you walk forward in the start of the movement, the easier the ab fallouts are, because then with the part where you're raising back up to standing, essentially you're going downhill, so it makes it much easier, and your body's not at such a stressful angle. So here I'm maintaining the fly position throughout. So again, no winging of the shoulder blades, no winging of the scapula, no pinching the shoulder blades together, and just falling in and out. All the movement comes from the hips. Here are two old videos because I forgot to film the single arm variations. So this is how you're going to lead into the single arm variation. You're essentially just going to be doing split arm fallouts. So just one arm goes backwards, one arm goes forwards. It's almost as difficult as a single arm fallout, but obviously not quite. So just the split arm variation and now the one arm variation. I'm holding my hamstring just to keep a little bit of body stability. Later on in the videos, you don't need that, especially when I'm shifting into other things. But in the beginning, it's a great idea. I have my feet at hip width, so I don't have them directly next to each other, but it's still a very narrow stance because I want as much stability and fighting as much rotation as possible to get maximum benefit from this. So now I'm taking the one arm fallout a step further, and I'm adding in the heavy dumbbell row. This is extremely intense on the stabilizers. So keeping the body square like you saw that I was doing at the top really overworks the stabilizers. Be very safe with this and make sure you're very comfortable here leaning into the strap and maintaining that stability. You don't want to like hurt your elbow or your shoulder doing something silly and like overshaking. So please do not attempt this until your stabilizers are very strong and you're extremely stable on the ring. So here I'm adding in just the push-up as well. So this might be easier or more difficult depending how you look at it, but I am adding more of a press into this, so I added this like as the second movement in the progression, but they're about the same difficulty, and you actually might enjoy this more. The only reason why this might be more difficult is because you do stay at the most difficult proportion of the movement, which is, face down to the floor for a longer duration. Now I'm adding in the archer push-up and the same thing. So a lot of this is just building on what comes before it. So here, again, I'm going out into the one-arm fallout. So as you see here, I drive my hips forward, I maintain the hollow body position, shoulder is always next to the ear, shoulder pushed into the ear as well. I come out, I look at the arm that extends on the archer. So whenever I'm doing an archer on the rings, I always look at the extending arm. Whenever I'm doing it on furniture sliders on the floor, I tend to look, or when I'm doing an archer pull-up, I look at the bending arm. But on rings for archer push-ups, I always like to look at the straight arm. It's just a preference, I prefer it that way. Take from it as you will. So here I'm adding on the one arm push-up on the rings. So This is it's about the same difficulty as the archer, because obviously the ring's elevated a bit, and I'm not doing as full of a range of motion on the one arm push-up as you see here, but it's really difficult stability wise to stay square on that one arm ring push-up. And then, you know, again, so look at that upper spine, maintaining hollow body position. This is really the key for all of this, maintain hollow body position. So now I'm just elevating my feet so that I can work some pikes on here. So here, this is a great way to work your pike push-ups on the rings. Here I'm doing the archer variation, but any form of pike push-up would be a great idea. Also, you can do this as just regular fallouts with just, you know, regular two-handed pike push-ups. You don't have to do the one-arm variation combined with the archers. This would really be a great introductory movement and also really help build up your pike strength. I would highly recommend this if you're working on your pike movements, or just, you know, like to build up towards your handstand push-ups would be a great idea to add in all of this. What's nice about the ring fallouts too is it kind of forces you into a perfect handstand line at the top of the movement. So if you see here, like, I mean, I'm kind of elevated here, but this is still forming a pretty nice handstand line. You could see how this would carry over, you know, really well to any type of handstand work. So yeah, these are going to be very important to your both your hollow body and your handstand line. So if you do have a bit of too much of a banana back in the handstand, I think forcing yourself to maintain hollow body throughout ring fallouts, you know, also with your shoulders next to your ears, scapula fully elevated, you know, that shoulder muscle shoved into your ear. I think that's a really good way to start conditioning yourself to hold a handstand line with more of a hollow body position. So here, what you see I'm doing, I'm just adding the row in at the pike position of the ring fallout. Excuse me, I'm bumbling my words a bit. The stability is really difficult on these. I don't know what else to say. What I like about this is it's kind of like it's an interesting movement because you're not often in a position where you're using your lat, doing like a lat pull down with a dumbbell. So what I do like about these, you know, these pike fallout rows is it's very interesting to be doing like a lat pull down with a dumbbell. It's first time I've ever tried anything like that, and it felt cool. It felt very interesting, and I love the aspect of adding in the archer. Pike position archers are fantastic. I'm obsessed with archer handstand push-ups, and pike position archers are bread and butter. Here, this is murder. Please don't try this until your stabilizers are really dialed in and really secure. So like, I'm very confident in my stabilizers in these extended positions. So here I am doing a you know, a dumbbell row with 50-pound dumbbell. Just, you know, stay strong, stay square, row slow, full range of motion, dumbbell to your chest, and just please be safe. Don't attempt this until your stabilizers are ready for it. And here's just a little bonus. This is just a V up with a mantle position. So, you know, one arm out, one arm up on the ring. It's just a good progression for towards one arm V sits. And that's it for today. Love you guys. Thank you so much for all your support. See ya.